So it's been a while since we last spoke, and we've come into the 2021 WSL CT season, which was super exciting. You would have been training pretty hard, getting yourself ready for the first event in Maui. Talk to me about, what a normal day looked like for you prepping for the event.
Yeah, we obviously 2020 got cancelled for us all. And I had like 8 months where I was just training and surfing, and obviously Maui kind of came on the calendar maybe a month prior to the actual event happening. So we didn't really have too much of a lead up, but we always knew that there was something going on and there might potentially be an event at the end of the year. So I just went about doing my thing. I was surfing heaps. We were so lucky on the Gold Coast. We had the most incredible run of waves for a couple of months, I think it was. And so I surfed. I trained maybe 3 times a week. I was still studying, which was nice, and just focusing on obviously for the 3 events that we're meant to run, it was going to be Maui, Sunset, and Santa Cruz. So I was focusing on my forehand and forehand points, and just really trying to get my board styled. And I'm glad we got one event out of the way, which was lovely, but I guess we're kind of in the same predicament now, waiting for another event to happen.
And what waves were you kind of surfing that you felt was similar in Oz that was similar to Maui?
So I went down to Lennox quite a bit. I heard Maui was similar to Lennox Point Break, so I went down there and tried my 5'9" round tails. Darren came down and watched me surf, and we kind of tried to refine the boards a bit. Obviously surfing snapper, right-hand point breaks. But as you know, Goldie has an abundance of right-handers. Maui was such a perfect wave. It's kind of, you could surf anything. And going to Maui is after surfing any other wave, it's just so easy. It's the most perfect sections, and it was good fun.
You were there, and in one of your, I think it was your first or maybe your second round or second heat of the event, you dropped your first 9-point ride on the CT, and then you backed it up with a 7. So how are you feeling coming into the rest of the event off the back of a pretty good heat total?
Yeah, I didn't really expect to drop a 9 in my first event, which was really cool. I think that kind of gave me a little bit of a confidence boost. The first heat I had, I made a lot of mistakes. I was really nervous, and I didn't sleep the night before the event. I was so excited. So I think I kind of just dropped the ball a bit. I had shaky legs, and I let a few people, take the inside off me at the start. And that 9-point ride came at the start of my second heat, and after that I was just kind of excited. Just trying to find the right wave out there is the hard part, and trying to be patient and actually not take off on a subpar wave was so hard because literally every wave that came through was super fun, and you just have to sit and go no, just wait for a set.
There was supposed to be a second event in Hawaii at Sunset, and unfortunately that one was cancelled, and then Santa Cruz has been postponed. So you were kind of in Hawaii, not you're almost there on a holiday. So what were you doing on your downtime?
Yeah, it was interesting how everything played out. Obviously, we had Maui, and then I went to Oahu straight after the event window finished. So I was kind of just obviously focusing on surfing Sunset, and it's a really challenging wave. I had a lot of mental anguish the whole time, but it was really cool experiencing and learning how to surf a different wave like that, because we don't have anything like that in Oz.
And you said before you had struggled with a bit of mental anguish surfing Sunset. What do you mean by that?
I think anyone who surfs Sunset completely understands exactly what I'm saying. It's probably the hardest wave that I've ever surfed in my life. Just in the sense that you can go out, and every single day you go out is totally different to the day before. Lineup wise, they're usually pretty consistent, but it kind of shifts as well. So there's 20 lineup points, and you just kind of have to determine where to sit in comparison to what swell direction it is and what size the waves are. And obviously you have to surf a lot bigger boards. I think my normal board I rode over there was a 6'6" or a 6'8", and before going to Hawaii, I literally had only surfed a 6'0" was my biggest board that I'd surfed. So it was a totally different way of surfing, and it was fun. Like I said, learning how to surf bigger boards, it's kind of helped me now. Maybe coming home, I might add a bit more volume and length to my boards just to be able to draw my turns out more.
You're back in Australia, which is really exciting. but there's some pretty intense COVID restrictions and measures that everyone has to abide by, as I'm sure you're aware. You're in 2-week lockdown in a hotel in Sydney. How are you feeling in the hotel? What are you doing to keep yourself busy?
To be totally honest, I feel like I was made for quarantine. I'm like, if you know me, like a lot of my friends have said, if anyone's going to get through it, it's going to be you. So far, so good. Like, I feel good. I've got my friend Cody bringing my PlayStation down for me. She bringing a guitar down. It's kind of like a forced break where I don't feel any FOMO, even though the waves have been pretty bad anyway, so it's okay. But I don't feel FOMO in the sense that I need to go out and do something and I'm missing out on anything. It's just, I've got time now to focus on myself. I've been doing some breathing, meditating. Surfing Australia have given us all stationary bikes, which has been amazing. I've got gym gear here. Literally, like, I have so much to keep me busy. I've started studying again, which is really good. I got my university up online earlier than usual, so I've got a bit of content to go through, and I've started Game of Thrones again, so that takes like a lot of time as well. But yeah, I mean, I know some people are going through a hard time, and it almost pains me to say that I'm actually kind of enjoying it.
You're going to be moving into Bells for the next CT, which will be kind of soon. But at the moment, it's kind of hard for people to travel interstate. I know that residents from Victoria need to actually get a permit to enter Victoria, and also travellers as well. So it's looking like it could be a little bit difficult for Australian citizens and also international people coming here for travelling or work to actually get around Australia. So what do you think the CT season will look like through the Australian leg?
I think 2020 has taught me that nothing is certain, and 2021, nothing surprises me anymore. Like when the contest got called off, didn't surprise me. I've learnt to be more adaptable now. Like, everything's very moldable, and especially through the pandemic, like, this whole thing could be resolved in a couple of months, or it could get worse. So I think it's kind of hard to comment on whether the CT will be able to go ahead or not. Obviously, WSL is going to do everything that they can to get the internationals firstly into Australia, and then breaking down the state borders is going to be the next task, obviously, because they're all kind of acting like their own countries now, which is the hard part. But so far I can see it going ahead. I mean, everything changes like that. Yeah. So we'll see how we go.
You know, once you get out of lockdown, get out of the hotel, what's your competition prep going to be like? You're just going to go ahead as if the comps are going to be on and just, that's it? That's your focus?
Yeah, I think we just have to prepare like it is going to go ahead. Same with the last year. We didn't really know that everything was going to be called off, so we just kept training. And I mean, it's hard to be in that uncertain stage of not knowing, definitely, because your commitment kind of wanes a bit. You don't have something like certain to work towards, but like training isn't training really. Like, I guess gym work is hard and you got to be committed to that, but going surfing every day, it's another hard task.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep surfing, and obviously working with coaches now, I've got a lot to take away from Maui. I've seen all the girls on tour and how they work and how dedicated they are and how good they are. And now I've got a lot to take away from them as well. So I've got a list of things I've written down that I've taken away from the last 2 months, and I'm going to take it back to my coaches and start working on it, and yeah, be prepared for Bells.
Well, thanks so much for having a chat, Bella, and looking forward to seeing you surfing again soon and dropping some pretty good clips.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.